What's it called? Let me introduce myself. My name is Humza Arshad. I'm a comedian, an actor, a YouTuber, extremely good looking, obviously. Cool. Today we are asking the question, what do young audiences want? Okay? And more importantly, do the folks who run E4 have any idea? So this is what they have to offer at the moment. All right, guys, so this is how it works, okay? We ask indies that have never made anything for E4 to send an idea for a reality show, because obviously there's a shortage. And we had... we had thousands and thousands of entries. Dozens. We had dozens of entries. About 1 dozen, that's more than 10, so it's fine. So a group of young people shortlisted 4. Now, the 4 production companies made taster tapes for their ideas, okay? And the commissioners at E4 watched the tapes and have chosen their favorite. So, that's so cool, but that means nothing, okay? That means nothing because the commissioners are gonna leave every 6 months anyway, yeah? What matters... a year. But what matters is what you people think, okay? So, just your network audience, I just read that. Shouldn't have done that. This is what's going to happen, okay? We are going to play the tapes, and then what we're going to do is the producers will take turns to come on stage and explain their ideas. And then they will be questioned by our young panel, and then the young people in the audience will vote for their favorite I don't think it's the app now. Actually, I think everyone will be emailed a link. So if you click on the link, then you'll be able to vote. And then it is going to be quite interesting to see if it's going to match with what you guys have chosen and what you have chosen. And the one who will be picked will win £500,000 of development money. So say that again. 5,000. Sorry, I got the decimals wrong. You should have made it clearer. That's still a lot of money. That you can do a lot with £5,000. You know, just don't snort it all away in the bathrooms. Joking, industry banter. Commissioners. So yeah, let's meet our young panel. So guys, please can you introduce yourselves one by one? If you could tell us your name, your age, a bit about yourself and your favourite TV programme right now. That'd be great. You might as well start off because you're near here. You know me.
I'm Jake. I'm 23. My favourite show currently is Peaky Blinders, and I can't wait for that to return this weekend. I have done run-in work on a number of different shows over the last year. I was on the network last year, and I also shoot some short documentaries in my own time. So that's me.
Cool. I'm Stuart. I'm 22. My favourite TV programme is probably Letterkenny. It's a Canadian sitcom, it's sick. And I was also on the network last year. I'm a freelance researcher, currently working on a new factual dating show for Channel 4. It's really cool.
Hi, my name's Annie, and my favourite show, really hard question, but one of my all-time favourites is Fleabag. Absolutely devo that is finished. And I am a researcher. I was also on the network last year, and I'm also on a new scheme in Glasgow at the moment, and I am a researcher working in development. Yep. And yeah, that's me.
Hi everyone, I'm Sunrise. I'm from Glasgow, and I work as a production assistant at an animation company in Glasgow called Access Studios. My favourite show is BBC's Killing Eve, just because Jodie as Villanelle is amazing, the writing is amazing. I can't fault it. And I was on the network last year as well.
Brilliant. All right, everyone give them a round of applause. Thank you for coming. Woo! Okay, so now let's meet the people in charge of deciding what goes on E4 until they move to Netflix or Amazon. And let's see it.
Green light go, that's all I know. When I roll, I'm in control.
Welcome back to This Morning.
Don't matter what they say, no, I don't care. Ain't gonna walk away till I'm there.
Just the version of yourself that is at the moment.
Move all day and I never get tired. Move all day and I never give up. Move all day and I never get tired. Move all day and I never give up. Move all day.
always got meetings, isn't it? Yeah. In a line.
We've had a lot of discussions about what E4 audiences want, and they want to be entertained, but they want the shows to have some purpose to them. They don't want it to just be mindless.
E4 has to be clever, intelligent, and funny at the same time, and that's why we're trying to do lots of kind of subverted comedy panel shows and look for kind of quirky cult kind of new talent.
Something that feels original, funny. Humour is important for us. Noisy. I think it has to have a sort of noise about it. Probably the most successful shows of recent times also say something, not on a big way, but say something about contemporary Britain or the audience.
Dating, anything that's like Love Island or derivative.
E4 is an entertainment brand, so entertainment is really important, so it can't be anything too serious or worthy. So hopefully the ideas we'll hear today all massively original and distinctive, and there's something shouty about them.
All right, cool. So we're going to go straight into it. We're going to look at the 4 ideas. So let's watch the first idea. All right, guys, I want you to be super honest. So your first reactions to this one by one.
I think initial reaction is that actually looked great. It's something that I'd definitely watch. It kind of, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it before, but in a way it was like Raven, the CBBC show for adults or something. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, it's interesting. It follows kind of the theme of the times with kind of the hunted and that kind of adventure vibe going on that everyone's really enjoying. I would be interested to see if there was an antagonist involved in the show, like if there was something more than just having to search and survive, something maybe chasing or something, and that kind of means to kind of keep the pace up. But I like it on original.
I really like the premise of the show. I felt it was a little bit wordy for me, and I felt that I was really trying to concentrate on what was kind of happening and what the show was, and it was actually a really simple concept. So that for me wasn't the way to go about it, but the idea, I like it. I'm intrigued, but yeah.
She's intrigued, guys.
I think the concept is something I feel like I've seen before, in the sense that it's a bit like Naked and Afraid plus dystopian future, which is great. I'm sure, like Stuart said, if they added something that would add interest other than, contestants going from A to B, it would add a little bit more to the show, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go on to the second idea then. That was Baby Can I Old You? Okay, without the H. Clever. Well done. Guys, what did you think about, what was your first reactions when watching that?
I think the first half of that was really great. It had me hooked, and then I feel like it kind of then developed a little bit cheesy. I'm not sure how it will work out. I'm not sure on the name either. But
don't you get it though?
Explain it, please.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the H in it.
Oh yeah. I get it. Yeah, it's brilliant. But yeah, I think the concept's really intriguing, but I'm not sure if it would capture my interest in the same way, because I think it might get a bit cheesy if they're like starting to wear like prosthetics and stuff. It might be a little bit strange.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what, that really excited me. I was watching that and that's something really new and awesome. I really like when I watch TV, when I kind of see a bit of a social experimenty side to things, and that had loads of that in it. Like, you don't see that ever happening in real life, which makes that TV show awesome. Yeah, you're right with the prosthetics thing. Like, how would you do it? It would have to be a really, really well executed program for it to work. Yeah. But I mean, like, that does excite me.
It kind of reminded me of a sort of reverse Love Island, which I kind of love, because I just feel like you see Love Island and you watch it and you're like, are you really going to make it in the world? Come on, like, let's be real, you're probably not, and you are going to break up. Whereas with that, I feel like, yeah, like, I'd love to see, are they going to make it? It feels a little bit more genuine. And if they do make it through all the crap, then you're like, oh, maybe they actually will. Do you know what I mean? Last more than 5 minutes on the Daily Mail. So yeah, I like it.
I genuinely love this just because the world of dating has changed so much, even in the last 10 years, that shows like this really connect with a young audience who are trying to figure it out as it's changing. And in terms of, I come from a makeup background, and I just love seeing transformations, and I think often when you transform physically, your attitude changes as well, and I'd love to see that come across on the show. So I think that'd be really, really interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see the third video. What is your first reaction?
I can't say I see myself ever watching a show like that, to be perfectly honest. I mean, the concept's really interesting because there is an interest from young people in Instagram and sort of body positivity and everything like that. I do think this kind of format has been done before, and it does seem similar to other shows that are on telly. And so I think compared to maybe the other two that have been shown already, it's not quite as unique in the idea, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite to my demographic. I've never really been interested in fashion shows, but there is still an appetite for things, like Love Island and that. So it would definitely hit somewhere. I don't know if it has enough of something new to really kick off in itself. But the body positivity thing is always good. I don't think I need to see another show like that on TV.
Yeah.
You look happy.
I feel, I don't know, there was something a little bit muddled about it. I think maybe because it was both the model and the designer, and I think when you're watching a show, you really want to root for one kind of person, whether it's on RuPaul's Drag Race, you're really rooting for the drag queen. And I just felt a little bit torn between the two and kind of feeling like there's not really enough substance.
Okay.
I feel like there needs to be another layer, and maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What about you?
I think it's unimaginative. Is that rude to say? Just because
rude.
It just feels a bit like you just watched Project Runway and then Top Model and thought, oh, what if we just did this but with body positive models and up and coming designers? I mean, I don't know if, sorry guys, but I feel like if it was created, there might be an audience for it, but I feel like it's missing something. I think the best part about that is the body positivity. But yeah, that's my take. Sorry.
All right, and the final idea, let's take a look at the video. Wow. That scared the shit out of me. What about you?
Yeah, it was really creepy. I think the idea is intriguing again. I think I keep going back to CBBC, but it's just like Trapped. I don't know if anyone watched that. It's like with the rat like conspiring against people. And yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it needs to advance a bit because I don't feel like I got very much out of what the show's actually going to entail. It was a basic concept there, but not really anything. I don't know what I'm going to visualize with that, really. So I need to see a bit more about what that actually entails.
Yeah, definitely. It could have a little more kind of depth in what the program is about. That being said, I loved it. I thought it's
I could tell you were
something.
getting excited.
Calm
down, mate.
It's something
It's
I
early
watch.
for that,
Like, when I was at uni, there is a game exactly like that everyone plays when they're drinking, and everyone gets so into it and so involved. And I've had mates before being like, "Oh, this should be on TV. Like, it changes people. You become a new person." Like, that would be crazy on TV if done well. Yeah.
I love this idea,
But I know her.
I've seen it on YouTube, and it's maybe a slightly different setting, but for me, I feel like I have watched it. It's kind of pretty much the same premise. The only difference is it's people that they don't know each other and they're just talking in a circle. But I think it was an hour-long episode as well, and I was really like hooked. I watched at least 40 minutes, which normally my attention span on YouTube doesn't get that far. So I would just be careful because I think it's brilliant and I think people will really get into it. you need another layer, because if people have seen it on YouTube like I have and they're doing it well, who's to say they're not going to just watch it on YouTube? Because if it's there. So just maybe, great idea, but bang another layer on there.
Okay.
Like,
bang it on.
Literally everything these guys say, like, I'm on board as well. Well, I've seen this premise before, I've seen it on YouTube, like I've seen it on CBBC, and I think the rat element, if it's done really well, you can really do a lot and have tension and people will be hooked, but definitely there needs to be another, because that's why I was like, is there something missing? There needs to be something else.
That's so rude.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I don't mean to be rude.
So much potential there.
Yeah, I think it just needs a little bit of love, I think.
All right, brilliant. Well, anyway, let's find out who is behind these ideas and give them a chance to sell them to the panel here. So first of all, can we put our hands together and welcome Alex Smith from Spun Gold.
Hello, there we go. Excuse the iPhone, my notes accidentally ended up in a bin on Printer Street, so I'll be using these. Let's click away. Yes. So yeah, end of days. The idea essentially started when I thought to myself, what would I actually want to see on TV? So first and foremost, I want something to be fun and an escapist. And the best thing about really great reality TV is the real human drama, the sort of unpredictable moments, and the kind of real human interaction that you can't get an actor to do. So what I want to do is essentially combine that with the escapism, the sort of narrative and the creativity that you get in really, really great drama. So, create an entirely new world and sort of tell a story outside of our day-to-day lives. So what End of Days would like to do is take the survivor and tribal aspect of shows like Shipwrecked, the urban exploration and adventure game show of a show like Hunted, the mind games and strategy of a game like Crystal Maze, and the scavenging, the creativity, and the sort of improvisation of a show like Scrap Beat Challenge. All set in a fantastical alternative reality to modern day Britain. So the advantage of having all the different kinds of challenges and format points is that you can have a truly diverse cast. So a whole range of skill sets. So you've got the natural athletes doing the physical challenges. You've got the brainiacs nailing the mental and strategic challenges. And you've got the creatively minded and mechanically minded doing the scavenging and build challenges, and then finally the tech heads doing the tech and hacking challenges. But the key twist at the end is that even though you have to work as a team the entire way through, who will turn on who when there's only 3 spaces left on the chopper. Yeah, that's my...
All right, brilliant. All right, round of applause, guys. So, with our panel, we have a few minutes. If you have any questions, this is your time to ask Alex. Take your time.
So the show looks really, really cool, but probably will take quite a large budget to create this entire alternative world to kind of go into. How could you kind of manage the budget responsibilities to still try and make it the best quality it can be?
So in terms of being able to get the kind of settings, so there are places like a place called Cope Hill Down, which is an army training facility, which is essentially just an abandoned city where you can actually relatively cost effectively film there and sort of do whatever you need to there. And in terms of decommissioned power plants and that sort of thing, again, you can actually get access to them. So you can film relatively inexpensively if you kind of know the places to go to. And also, yeah, we'll have to sort of scavenge material here and there, sort of upcycle it for the show itself.
Brilliant. We've got one more question, quickly. Anyone else want to ask anything?
What would the age range for the contestants be?
The age range of the contestants probably be sort of usual... this is really sort of annoying answer. Probably the usual age range of the audience. So I would kind of imagine from 18 to sort of mid-20s, late 20s. All
right, brilliant. Well, yeah, just thank you once again, Alex. Much appreciated. And also at the same time, can we welcome Stevie Miller from East Media. Thank you. Okay.
Little. There we go. Can you hear me? Yeah. Right. First of all, that's actually me, okay? That actually happened at the beginning of that tape. It's not a lie, it's all true. And so I decided to turn it into an entertainment show, obviously. It's a real story. But so just a quick rundown. So the format we didn't really get into in the tape, but we'd have about 10 couples. They come into the reality house, and each episode we're going to make them a decade older. Like, it's that simple. But so they'll move from their 20s to their 30s to their 40s to their 50s and onwards. And during their time, they're not just going to be lounging around. They're going to be doing loads of relationship testing tests. And these are going to be based on each of the decades. We're going to use real stats to sort of show people in their 30s, that's when you normally have kids, that's when you're dealing with like money troubles, and 60 is when you retire, hopefully. So all those sort of games and tests we base on real world things. Watching them will be a bunch of experts, so giving their lowdown on what's going on. So relationship counselors, genuine scientists, like who will be able to say like their actions now are really going to affect like how they do in the future, both physically, mentally. The winning couple will get £50,000, should they get that far. But they can only take 10K a year. So is their relationship for real or not? Okay, why are we doing it? It's a good question. But getting married, I see as a real life game show. Okay, it's something we all still want to do. It is. It's a gamble. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. You don't know how people are going to change. So, the stats aren't great. They are not in your favor. So we're helping, really, because most young people still want to get married. They still want that long-term commitment with one partner. And we can use science to do that now. We've got a genetic test. We can show, like, if you're taking steroids now to get pumped, like, that's going to have an effect in the future, which you may not have, predicted. And also, everyone loves to see the future, okay? This app came out, like, a few weeks ago, and everyone became obsessed with it, so did we. So here's Stephen Hanley. So we aged him 40 years, and that's what happened. And then we tried to put Karl in it, and he looks exactly the same. Yep. Exactly the same. Make of that what you will. So how do we age them, okay? I know a problem with prosthetics is that sometimes they're like a little bit uncomfortable. We may not have to do it for the whole day. We wake them up, we change them, and then they can go back having seen the future. But we can do it physically, makeup, prosthetics, technology. There are old suits you can wear to make you feel physically old. So, you're getting a proper rundown of what it's like, not just like on the outside. But also we can use real stats to show where people will be. Genetics show us you do sort of end up like your mother a little bit. So we can use that. Your actions now, if you're a smoker now, if you're using Botox and things like that, it has an effect on the future. And behaviourally, if you tell lies now and you cheat at the age of 25, statistically, you will cheat after that. So we can use that. What do they do? Like I said, they will do different tests depending on, their age range. And this is based on actual government consensus about what people do. Like, start getting old, it's miserable, but that's it. Yeah, the experts will decide who's done the best in each of the tests and the challenges. They'll get scored, and we'll also start evicting people at the same rate as marriage and, breakups happen. So if 22% of long-term relationships start to fail in their 20s, that starts in their 20s, end in their 30s, then we'll lose 2 couples. That's it. It's like based on real science.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Sorry, someone's saying...
That was it.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll give her a round of applause. Don't make it awkward, guys. Don't make it awkward. All right, quickly, does anyone have any questions they would like to ask it?
Obviously, you're going to be filming such intimate moments.
Yeah.
And there's been this whole talk about, duty of care and all this.
Yeah.
Would you, if this show was on and obviously you were putting actual physical and whatever altercation or like changes to someone, what would be the things that you'd put in place to make sure that?
Well, I think we're almost killing two birds with one stone by having the scientists and like relationship experts like watching them. These will be like proper people who are like counsellors, you know, who are experts in this, who will be able to say when, you know, things might have gone, you know, are heading. They can predict where things are heading. If it looks like it might not be a great outcome, they can put a stop to that potentially before, you know, it gets to that point.
Oh, brilliant.
Cool.
I think we've run out of time. If you want to do a quick one?
How do you choose the elimination process? Like, on what basis do you can't just, what if we love a character and then you go, they're out? Do you know what I mean? Like, why?
Well, it would be, maybe there'd be like a lower couples, if you see what I mean. So the person who didn't score the best, the rest of them will be up for elimination for the public. So you can save your favourite, but you're only safe if the experts have decided, you know, you excelled at that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much once again. Thank you very much. And now, if we can, hear from the third company, which is Matthew Floyd from Possessed.
Guess it can only go up from here, right? Yeah. So this is Wet Look, the Wet Look. So this is my friend Sarah. She's a swimwear designer, believe it or not. What the coincidence. And she spends her entire day prodding and poking at swimwear models. But Sarah herself, she's like most designers, she's eccentric, creative, and a bit of a geek. And this sort of relationship which she has with the models she works with reminded me of a show that I used to love called Beauty and the Geek. Because like Beauty and the Geek, a model and a designer, they're very different personality types, but they have this symbiotic relationship, this love-hate relationship, where they might love each other one day, hate each other the next, but they need each other to survive. There we are, Beauty and the Geek. So that was the starting point for this idea, and I think that relationship, that love-hate relationship, is the main reality driver. But let's not forget the basics. It is E4. The Wet Look is sexy. It's young, hot people living in a house together with a legitimate reason to touch each other this time. It's funny. Come on, you saw in the tape. It's people trying to walk down a water-filled runway with bits of tree stuck to them. And the thing I'm most excited about with the Wet Look is that it's about genuine, authentic, young talent. How does the show work? Well, the format's mainly broken into 4 parts. Our judges, we'll have 2 judges, 1 expert swimwear designer and 1 iconic swimwear model will set the brief. So we can have a wet and wild safari look for alligator spotting in the Everglades, because we are in Florida after all. We could have a versatile 2-in-1 look to go from daytime sort of trashy phone party to evening yacht wear in the same garment. Or it could be a Little Mermaid-inspired merman, mermaid look using ocean-friendly materials. And these looks will be presented on the pool walk, which is across the mansion pool, floats across the mansion pool. And the other designers will commentate as each model is walking down the pool walk. Our judges will name a bottom 2 couples. They are our duos in danger. And tomorrow, 1 model and 1 designer are going to be eliminated. But that will be decided by the other mansion mates. So the duos in danger have 24 hours to butter up the competition. And that gives us heaps of reality, because we see the looks out in the wild, so we see them on that photo shoot in the Everglades in their swimwear. They also need to let off steam, so there'll be pool parties, but all the while, the 2 duos in danger, they know 1 is going to leave from each couple, so they're trying to make allegiances. Back around the pool the next day, we have the cut, so they're the bottom 2 couples, and the models will vote for which designer goes home. So they've got rid of her, and then the designers will do the same for the models. They'll vote to save a model, and they're going to get rid of him. So sometimes they will save couples in their entirety, and sometimes we'll forge brand new duos. That's the Wet Look. Thank you.
Matthew, does anyone have a question? Don't run away. Chill out. It's cool. Just one question. Anyone got a question? Just one question?
I've got a comment. I was just going to say, I found your first slide was really interesting because I would be a lot more interested in watching something about your friend and like maybe a short documentary on her like actual experience with it. I think because some of the three points you gave, funny, sexy and talent, I think a lot of shows sort of cover that mandate. And so I do kind of wonder what it's actually providing that's new. I would be interested to like hear a little bit more about what you think is like what's new about this show.
What's new about the show is it is the first competition where there's been duos of model and designer. And I do think like some of the best reality shows, whether it's Strictly, whether it's Love Island, whether it's Beauty and the Geek, it is about two quite different people with different skills coming together to sort of, you know, win against all odds, and that they need each other's skills to survive. So for me, the big turn, there's two big differences, is that it's the first fashion competition where it's teams of two, model and designer. It's the first fashion competition that is just about swimwear, and it's the first fashion competition where all different types of body are celebrated.
Thank you, Matthew. Oh, yeah, sorry, that's not all the time that we have for this one because we've got one more. But thank you so much, Matthew. Yeah, sorry guys, we're just running a little bit behind. But if we can welcome our final company, that's Kate Monahan and Holly Cocker. Yeah, get right.
Short person height. Hi, I'm Kate and this is Zena and we are from Hey Sunny Films. And we want to welcome you to E4's latest reality show, Trust No One, a show like no other.
So Trust No One is the sneakiest game show that will get everyone talking. Stripped over 5 60-minute episodes, 12 contestants will live together in a luxury villa with a pool and work together on tasks set by a presenter like Alice Levine, trying to win a prize pot of up to £80,000 across the series.
But one person is trying to sabotage it all. The rat is secretly working against the rest of the team to win the money for themselves. Each episode, they must surreptitiously undermine the tasks and ensure that the team loses. Like the contestants, the audience will only discover the identity of the rat in the final episode.
At the end of every episode, each member of the team anonymously votes on who they think the rat is, with the real rat, of course, being immune. Oh, that's louder. If the rat gets the most votes, they lose that week's money, and the people with the next most votes are ejected instead.
By the final episode, only 3 members of the team are left. If the contestants correctly identify the rat, they win up to £80,000. But if the rat has evaded suspicion, they win the prize pot all for themselves.
This is event television that will be stripped at 9 p.m. over the course of a week, providing the perfect mix of humour, jeopardy and emotion that we know E4 audiences love. Trust No One will hook audiences and get people talking. Alongside the linear show, there will be a tight social campaign that will engage viewers and always ask the question, who do you think the rat is?
This is Trust No One. Once you realise that someone is out to get you, you think everyone is out to get you.
Sounded like an audiobook. What's it called? Have we got one question? Yeah, gone? Yeah.
I was living for the pitch. Well done. I'm just trying to clarify something in my head. What happens if they find the rat, like, immediately?
Yeah. So every episode, they vote for the rat, but the rat could be anyone. They could vote for the rat every week, but as production, if people are getting too suspicious of the rat, we will probably help them out a little bit to evade suspicion, to maybe push suspicion on something else. So each episode is task-based, and the task will go from sort of emotional, mental, and we'll be putting tasks together that some people are going to excel at and some people are going to kind of want to shy away from.
And just to add to that as well, the voting's anonymous, so they won't know if they've got the right person because the rat's immune. So all they'll know is that somebody isn't the rat because that person's been voted off. And that's what's great for the audience, is because they'll be watching going, oh God, I thought it was that person. And they'll have to reinvent their own theories as well.
Thank you very much, guys. All right, so now it's your turn to vote. So if you're part of the network, you would have been sent a link. And if you go on that link, you'll be able to vote and decide your favorite. If you're age 24 or under, you can vote. If you're not, then just take some pills and go to sleep. All right. Yes. All right, guys, and while you are voting, we are just going to quickly go over what the panel said. Yeah? Okay, so, End of Days. Guys said, I definitely watch it. Never seen anything like it. Simple concept and a bit like Naked and Afraid. And now we are going to see what E4 actually said about it.
So it's a post-apocalyptic
Hunger Games
survivalist
kind of
game.
survivalist.
Yes. I'm not sure about that tune.
Is it from the year 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've kind of seen quite a few ideas that are along the kind of post-apocalypse route.
Yes.
The issue is for me is that the simplest kind of formulas for reality kind of are always the easiest and the best. Whereas this would just become about the game and not the people.
You know that post-apocalyptic car show on Sky One?
Yes. Carnage.
Carnage.
It cost $1 million an episode or something daft, yeah.
You would have to spend a lot of money to make it convincing.
The point is the Carnage show is a kind of Mad Max, the reboot kind of, kind of a vision of that. You want to really care about the people and kind of follow their journey in the way that you do on Love Island and things like that. And it's a really hard area to crack.
It's got sort of a sense of ambition, scale. I don't think we've seen a show that looks like that. Carnage is probably the closest. The thing for me is whether there's enough relatable drama. I don't know if the entry point, which was about, the society breaking down because of some sort of bug or whatever. I don't know if that does feel like it really matters. And game shows are hard
I
to
disagree,
land.
actually. I mean, I often think about what I would do if there was an apocalypse. Like, I do sort of plan it in my head.
Both die. I know. Our skills are useless.
But do you feel like...
And I think, what skills do I have? Like, what would I actually be able to do? The island actually does what I'm saying really well, because it is like you strip everything away, what can you actually do? And that's what the island does. And it's a simple way of doing that.
I think it's a nice world, and I think testing skills and stuff like that is very, very relatable and very relevant. But I think if you take that away and say to the production company, okay, go and produce that, I wonder where they'd start. The minute your starting point is taking them out of the real world and putting them into a fake world to find the real world, straight away you don't know what the top line is.
We all talk about it from the perspective of reality, but actually it's a game show.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not like you watch Release the Hounds and you're like, oh my God, I really care about Dave.
True.
It's because the tasks are funny and the world is kind of mad.
But the Hounds doesn't go, God, imagine if you were stranded in a forest, or it's just here's a game show.
So now next, it's Baby Can I Old You? Without the H, O-L-D. We'll talk about it later. So the things that you guys said was a bit cheesy, really exciting, like a reverse of Love Island, and worried about prosthetics. I thought that said prostitutes. I was like, what? I should have thought that, not say it. So yeah, let's see what E4 had to say about that video.
I don't know if I believe that you can make someone old. I think you can make someone look old, but
you can't change their personality or the
what
traits
tests there were that would make you behave old, because I think that's, depending on how long the show is, that's what you'd be following, I think, story-wise. I think once you get past making them look old, then there'll be a connection, then they're just real people in costume, aren't they?
It's all about the visual and that reaction to the visual. And I just think you're right, once you've got past that, what have you actually got?
Could you, mess with their sight a bit? inhibit their movement.
But it's all physical then, isn't it? The tape starts with my dad turned out to be a bigamist and a criminal.
And that's great.
That's really interesting. But you're not going to know that about someone.
No, true. But in a way that baby borrowers fast forwarded the process of what it's like to be a parent. Could you fast forward and what was it? When I Get Older did the opposite end, didn't it? It sort of got old people to live like young people, and whether that would have any sort of reversal effects. Would there be any?
So like a Ghost of Christmas Past kind of
yeah,
thing.
like
with where you're shown.
Well, there was a show, BBC Three did a show called Make My Body Younger, which did project into the future for people who ate badly, lived badly, what their bodies would look like inside as well as outside. So, you know, your heart, your liver, and all that stuff sort of collapsing, and it was like properly sort of shocking and. Actually wasn't just a gimmick, it did make an impact on the way that they then behaved.
It's not a reality stripped kind of idea, is it?
But I think you're right, it doesn't necessarily answer the question that was posed at the start. It would
but that's interesting, for me that's the interesting bit.
That was the bit I was like, oh my God,
yeah.
He turned out to be a criminal.
Secrets that your parents, or secrets that your...
Something like that.
Yeah, your partner.
I mean, it's a generational thing.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways to use stats to work out, you know, like they now do sort of profiling, don't they? You know,
like
kind of minority reports. They do, like who is more likely to commit a crime. They do stuff like that. But it's quite complicated. I don't know how you would do it in that format.
You've got to be really careful. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're going to be a paedophile. You know, you can't. Do you know what I mean? It could come up with some really awful things about people that you couldn't ever broadcast.
But he's really fit. It'd be a fit paedophile.
Oh, fit pedos, love them.
Great. Okay, so now the next one was the wet look. Some positive things you had to say. I would never watch it. Has been done before, and liked body positivity angle. So that's good. But let's see what E4 had to say about it.
Oh, I quite like the title.
Good tape. No,
a really good tape.
I think it's a good space.
It's funny, like how much a tape can bring something to life, and the tone was really good in that.
The obvious question is it too narrow?
I think with Love Island being so popular,
that's true.
And bikini selling for £1, and I think it's a really good area. And I think basing it in Miami is really smart.
Is Miami
that is true.
I thought it was.
I mean, Brazil, yeah.
The beachwear market is massive, isn't it? I mean, like some of those Instagrammers that sell their own fucking swimwear and stuff are making millions now.
Also, I like the casting in it. I like
I
the
thought it was good. That was a different thing.
Yeah, seeing all different body
there are
types
like
and
amazing,
sexy
fun
bikinis.
young
I think that's
designers in
smart.
Britain that are kind of, you know, would be great. There's loads of them that go to the same.
But like, could you
I
broaden
agree
it?
with that? But does it feel like? Do people have like a burning ambition to design swimwear for their whole lives?
Absolutely.
Like,
Wow.
like
Victoria Harbour Baker from Maiden Translate.
why do you not make a series about design?
Yeah.
Like clothes design? Or is
That's
it,
exactly, I agree,
But then I do see your point. I think, but then does it make it feel less original, distinct? Like you've got a hook. At least you've got a hook.
I'm with you. I think it's like one episode or one strand of a bigger show.
Do you just want to see hot people as well?
I would like to see
I'm
people
just saying,
with attitude
I know what I
having
like.
to get into skimpy clothes, because then you have that sort of...
As long as you've got a mix, the people that are in it would be kind of fun, intelligent, aspirational young people that have got hopes and dreams of becoming actual designers and stuff that you actually would kind of like to champion, I think.
The bikinis and the swimsuits, it's the reality that you get dressing up different body types. And I would say the only thing that I would challenge is that I think the format feels like we've seen it before.
But they could work on that.
Hour, isn't it? I would, yeah.
If you could show me a cast of people who are all obsessed with designing swimwear, and that's their obsession, and they're like all different, and they come across the country.
I think that's fair.
Then,
yeah.
then, then,
Because
then,
on Glow Up, you buy that all these people are mad obsessed with makeup, and
it's like I mean, people don't do YouTube swimwear making tutorials.
Yeah.
Like it's like I just don't like it's. Is it? I just don't. If I can believe in the cast, I love it.
I think you'd have to try and find a way of broadening it out so that it sustains without losing its sort of hook.
And the last one was trust no one. It's bullshit. You guys said intriguing. You said, but I've seen it on YouTube. Lawsuit. Needs another layer. But let's see what E4 had to say about it.
Have they not heard of the mole?
Yeah. I fucking love that sort of mood. It's and the mole is so the mole didn't work on Channel 5, but it's massive across Europe. Like there's a few territories it still plays in now.
Really?
It's a successful format, and no one ever cracked it here. I love this sort of shit. It's like Werewolf.
Yeah.
That game.
I was in at the start. I liked the mood and the atmosphere. I thought, oh, it's intriguing, but then it didn't. Yeah, and then I just realised they swapped the mole for the rat.
That kind of stuff, I find that really hard to watch. Cruel, people backbiting on each other, you know, paranoid worlds.
I'm sort of agreeing with Steve on this, and I don't know if there's enough sort of optimism and fun and humour in this.
Not yet.
Devil's advocate. I agree with what you're saying, really, but like there is a lot of the same flavour in reality TV at the moment.
Yeah.
And then when Release the Hounds came out, it was a breath of fresh, dark air.
Yeah.
And actually, like, if we're trying to create something distinctive on E4, and we're trying to create a distinctive tone for E4, the idea of we shouldn't be attempting to emulate.
And it's funny because as well, I was thinking about the swimwear one. I was thinking it does feel like that could be sort of quite ITV2.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think it feels particularly E4 necessarily. But because it's familiar, you're sort of drawn to it a little bit, and or you can see it as telly. But it's a good point, Tim. I mean, that would feel different.
But what are we asking, or what are we trying to find out? I guess
deception.
The dark arts.
Yeah,
can you be? How manipulative can you be?
Yeah.
It's a really difficult thing to get right, that game. And if they were like, we've come up with a brilliant new answer for that, then I would be all in.
I suppose I feel like there's a growing trend, or more of a trend away from the sort of backstabbing reality and more towards kind of but how would you still have what is an interesting concept
but not make it
so sort of divisive or but maybe that's impossible with this idea. I think what this process has taught us is that none of us really agree with each other.
No.
This is why nothing gets commissioned quickly. When you're buying ideas, or when you're looking to commission someone, it is the idea, but it's also the person, and so I think if I was so right, like not having the people in the room with you to kind of get a feel for them, really understand their vision for the idea, kind of is like 50% of the, well, not even maybe 50% of the pitch. So, so basically take whatever we say with a pinch of salt.
Well, it's when you see those ideas, you love someone to go, I'm presenting this idea because this is what's going on in the real world, and I think that's really important for me, for it's reflecting the audience.
Okay, so let's recap. Edit point. So recapping, so remember, End of Days, Baby Can I Hold You, The Wet Look, and Trust Nobody. Write down a name.
Right, brilliant. Can we welcome Karl Warner on stage, please? Anyway, you can just stand there. We haven't really planned it. So, first things first. Do you think it's going to be a match to what the panel have decided and what everyone said?
Well, I know. I feel like I know already.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I feel like we've established we're completely out of touch. This is a bad look for us right now, yeah. But don't worry.
All right, shall we find out?
What do? I'll do my reveal now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
Can we have a drum roll? Have you got a budget for a drum roll?
What was your favourite? Your favourite was... They said their favourite. The Wet Look!
The Wet Look!
Yes! Who doesn't look bikinis? Swimwear!
Well done! Yeah, well done, everyone. That's amazing, but it doesn't mean shit. All that matters is what the audience has voted for. So
it's not our choice. The audience get to choose who gets the money.
You guys voted, right? I hope you guys voted, right? All right, the network, just little drum roll if you can, guys, because we haven't got a budget for sound effects. And the winner is... Oh, baby, can I hold you?
Baby, I
told you. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
fantastic. Guys, can you guys come on stage? Where are you, Stevie? Oh, yeah. Can you come on stage? Come. 500.
Yes, Stevie. Whose name?
500.
Stevie. Yes. 5 grand.
5,000, sorry.
Spend it well. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Carl. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, nice one,
Thank you so much, Carl. Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to Carl and the commissioning editors that appeared on the VTs. Thank you very much. Round of applause for them as well. Thank you to the young panel. Thank you to the companies that submitted their ideas. And once again, a huge shout out to E4, who have been working with young people in creating new content. So thank you very much. Shout out to E4 and have a nice day as well. Thank you very much.
Well done.